Chapter 5. Birth Chart and Birthday. My grandfather wanted the greatest astrologers in India to make my birth chart. He made the long journey to Varanasi and saw the famous men. Looking at the notes and the dates my grandfather had brought, the greatest astrologer of them all said, "I am sorry, I can only make this birth chart after 7 years. If the child survives, then I will make his chart without any charge. But I don't think he will survive. If he does, it will be a miracle, because then there is a possibility for him to become a Buddha." My grandfather came home weeping. I had never seen tears in his eyes. I asked, "What is the matter?" He said, "I have to wait until you are 7. Who knows whether I will survive those years or not? Who knows whether the astrologer himself will survive, because he is so old. And I am a little concerned about you." I said, "What's the concern?" He said, "The concern is not that you may die. My concern is that you may become a Buddha." I laughed, and amongst his tears he also started laughing. Then he himself said, "It is strange that I was worried. Yes, what is wrong in being a Buddha?" When I was 7, an astrologer came to my grandfather's village searching for me. When a beautiful horse stopped in front of our house, we all rushed out. The horse looked so royal, and the rider was none other than one of the famous astrologers. He said to me, "So you are still alive? I have made your birth chart. I was worried, because people like you don't survive long." My grandfather sold all the ornaments in the house just to give a feast for all the neighboring villages to celebrate that I was going to become a Buddha. And yet I don't think he even understood the meaning of the word Buddha. He was a Jaina and may have not have even heard it before. But he was happy, immensely happy, dancing, because I was to become a Buddha. At that moment, I could not believe that he could be so happy just because of this word, Buddha. When everyone had departed, I asked him, "What is the meaning of Buddha?" He said, "I don't know. It just sounds good. Moreover, I am a Jaina. We will find out from some Buddhist." In that small village, there were no Buddhists. But he said, "Someday, when a passing Buddhist bhikkhu comes by, we will know the meaning." But he was so happy just because the astrologer had said that I was to become a Buddha. He then said to me, "I guess Buddha must mean someone who is very intelligent. In Hindi, Buddhi means intelligence. So he thought that Buddha meant the intelligent one." He came very close. He almost guessed right. Alas, that he is not alive. Otherwise, he would have seen what being a Buddha means. Not the dictionary, but an encounter with a living, awakened one. And I can see him dancing, seeing that his grandson has become a Buddha. That would have been enough to make him enlightened. But he died. His death was one of my most significant experiences. Of that later on. And to me, he was not just a maternal grandfather. It is very difficult for me to define what he was to me. He used to call me Raja. Raja means the king. And for those 7 years, he managed to have me live like a king. On my birthday, he used to bring an elephant from a nearby town. Elephants in India, in those days, were kept either by kings, because it is very costly, the maintenance, the food, and the service that the elephant requires, or by saints. Two types of people used to have them. The saints could have the elephants because they had so many followers. Just as the followers looked after the saint, they looked after the elephant. Nearby, there was a saint who had an elephant. So for my birthday, my maternal grandfather used to bring the elephant. He would put me on the elephant with two bags, one on either side, full of silver coins. In my childhood in India, notes had not appeared. Pure silver was still used for the rupee. My grandfather would fill two bags, big bags, hanging on either side, with silver coins, and I would go around the village throwing the silver coins. That's how he used to celebrate my birthday. Once I started, he would come in his bullock cart behind me with more rupees, and he would go on telling me, "Don't be miserly. I am keeping enough. You cannot throw more than I have. Go on throwing." Naturally, the whole village followed the elephant. It was not a big village either. Not more than 200 or 300 people in the whole village. So I would go around the village, the only street in the village. He managed in every possible way to give me the idea that I belonged to some royal family. I was so mischievous. I cannot live without it. It is my nourishment. I can understand the old man, my grandfather, and the trouble my mischief caused him. The whole day he would sit on his gadi, as the seat of a rich man is called in India, listening less to his customers and more to the complainers. But he used to say to them, "I am ready to pay for any damage he has done. But remember, I am not going to punish him." Perhaps his very patience with me, a mischievous child, even I could not tolerate it. If a child like that was given to me, and for years, my God, even for minutes, I would throw the child out of the door forever. Perhaps those years worked a miracle for my grandfather. That immense patience paid. He became more and more silent. I saw it growing every day. Once in a while, I would say, "Nana, you can punish me. You need not be so tolerant." And, can you believe it? He would cry. Tears would come to his eyes. And he would say, "Punish you? I cannot do that. I can punish myself, but not you." Never, for a single moment, have I ever seen a shadow of anger towards me in his eyes. And believe me, I did everything that 1,000 children could do. In the morning, even before breakfast, I was into my mischief until late at night. Sometimes I would come home so late, 3 o'clock in the morning. But what a man he was! He never said, "You are too late. This is not the time for a child to come home." No, not even once. In fact, in front of me, he would avoid looking at the clock on the wall. End of chapter 5.
That's it. Thank you very much.